Good evening. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP Bangladesh. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP Bangladesh. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. On Dear Knowledge Seeker, today I am your host for the evening. My name is Bathum Das. I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be a associate with IGP as a global member. IGP, a non-profitable organization, is a social and ISO certified international training institute. In 3 years, we already serve 3 million knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 250 plus professions and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professional IGP and ISO 9001, 2015 and 10002, 2018 is the training facility for skill development which was founded in 2020. In 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in global labor market by providing professional qualities. The Institute of Global Professional is an education institute that provides social work globally recognized and reportable. We serve students and community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's non-effective to increase one's skill just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generations all over the world. We distribute our service locally, nationally, and internationally to students, job seekers, job holders, and also for learners through respective campus location and distance learning platforms. We are an occupational and dependable institution. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product, it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world. For three free webinars, seminar courses, award, quiz competition, mentoring and consulting, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to serve more than 100 premium service for free like create own portfolio website resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and world knowledge platform for gathering knowledge which can upgrade all day. Kids learning game website, free course, converse sites, and many, many more. We help to empower you learn to meet their expectations and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement staff several training program, webinars, and offline online courses for youth and learners by professional trainers, speakers, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kind of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities to ensure excellence and in-depth instruction. We arrange the qualified trainers, speakers, and instructors. We extended free services to more than 3 million knowledge seekers in the last 3 years. We have affiliation and universities and organizations in 70 different countries, virtual more signing with many college and organizations have been accomplished. We are working to create a legendary generation to future scholars and citizens who will be accountable. We are constantly prepared to assist all knowledge seekers with valuable service. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professionals. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and will serve them with good research and practice method. We must have a concern, genuine concern for the learners. We represented more diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a sessions with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective based quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can provide their skills, level, and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind that don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very favorable for us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friends in the comment box. Your support is very favorable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with our continuous support, we already completed 1,121 webinars successfully. Wow. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,121 webinars successfully. Wow. At present, we are going to start our 1,122 program, and the name is Health and Well-being in Schools. And today our speaker is Ma'am Rania Lampao. Before I hand over the stage to Sir Ma'am, want to share a little bit about our speaker. She is a Ministry of Education and Religion Affairs from Greece, a global educationist, author, speaker, researcher, global peace ambassador, and she is also an IGP director, and she is from Greece. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Mhm. Greetings from Greece. Many congratulations to the Institute of Global Professionals for this great work that you are doing. And I'm always very happy and honored to be invited to these training sessions, which are very constructive and very useful.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, on behalf of IGP, Knowledge Seekers wants to hear from you about yourself.
Mhm. I'm a multi-awarded global educator, STEM instructor, ICT teacher trainer, neuroeducation researcher, international speaker, and author of scientific books for kids. I'm working at the Greek Ministry of Education, at the Directorate of Educational Technology and Innovation, and also at the Greek Astronomy Space Company as a STEM instructor.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Ma'am, now the stage is yours. You can start your presentation.
Mhm. So today we're going to discuss about well-being and health because well-being as well as healthy nutrition are very important in education. Healthy children and adolescents are better learners and they become healthier and more productive adults. Good mental health and well-being are essential for students because they help them to learn effectively, to cope with day-to-day challenges and develop into resilient young adults. Therefore, investing in health, nutrition, and well being is as important as investing in education programs and facilities and teachers. This means that resources and education expenditures must substantially increase. So schools have the potential of being the place where young people learn about healthy diets and where a sustainable food culture can be promoted and experienced. So I will share now my presentation. Is it visible now? Is my
Yes, ma'am.
presentation?
We can see your
Okay,
presentation and
thank.
also you. You can start now.
Okay. So, health and well-being actually isn't a single subject or class, but it's organized in many areas. Well-being is a broad concept that covers a wide range of psychological and physical abilities, emotional, physical, social, workplace, and societal well-being. So we have many areas and spheres of life: mental, emotional, social, physical, planning for choices and changes, physical education, food and health, substance misuse, and relationships, sexual health, and parenthood. In other words, when we talk about well-being at school, means how it is important to feel safe, valued, and respected, how it is important to have positive self-esteem and self-efficacy, the sense of autonomy, to have positive and supportive relationships with teachers and peers, to be actively and meaningfully engaged in academic social activities and feel a sense of belonging always. In other words, to feel happy and satisfied with our lives at school. Usually, school being is often overlooked, but it's very crucial for teachers and students. It has been proved to have a positive effect on school climate, on student achievement, and teacher retention rates. And there are many factors that contribute to school well-being. I think the most important factors are school culture, teacher support, and student engagement. A school with a positive culture creates an environment where everyone feels valued and respected. Teachers who feel supported by the colleagues and administration are more likely to be engaged in their work and create positive relationships with their students. And students who feel connected to the school and the classmates are more likely to be engaged in learning and thrive academically. When all these factors are present, we can create a school environment that supports the mental health and well-being of everyone involved. Why it is important? Because the formative years of childhood and adolescence are crucial in development of long-term attitudes towards someone's attitudes and lifestyle preferences and towards his well-being. So young people usually acquire social and emotional competencies and behaviors in the classroom that support resilience development. Therefore, a framework needs to be established for managing their physical and mental health. Helping kids feel that they are cherished as individuals, that the school life has a meaning and purpose for them. This is a first step, a step in addressing student well-being at school. And this can be done in a wide number, great number of ways. Um, the combination of which can have a significant impact on the well-being of students. Of course, we're going to see later how it's important that schools should be able to give all members of the school community the chance to take part in meaningful decision making, create a friendly environment where everyone can feel supported and safe by participating in authentic and real life activities. Effective teaching strategies can contribute to a positive classroom climate and well being. And schools, of course, could provide meals, important chapter, health services, information about diseases, we'll see how prevention about disease is important. Healthy way information about healthy way of living, which is very important for the health improvement of students and their families. And also, this could protect the students from infectious diseases by teaching them the basics about the prevention. Um, Another important part of well-being is mental health. Uh, Confusingly, mental health is often thought as mental health problems or mental ill health or lack of health, rather than the presence of strategies for mental health and well-being. And that usually we think that reducing ill-being automatically improves well-being. Well-being and ill-being operate on two separate but interrelated spectrums. When we refer to mental health, we define this as the ability to have positive mental health and increased capacities for well-being, which enable children to flourish in life. So we need schools that increase strategies for well-being and support all students move towards flourishing. When there is a lack of strategies for positive mental health, because unfortunately many children and young people do not know how to develop well-being and what they have to do. They have no few strategies for positive mental health. This is called languishing. Languishing in a psychology context describes a lack of mental health. The well-known psychologist Corey Case first introduced the concept of languishing in 2022, and he divided mental health into four levels: flourishing or good mental health, moderate mental health, and languishing or poor mental health, and depression. We could say that languishing typically marks a decline in our mental health, although we can still function in our day to day life. And maybe we are not going through a major mental health crisis, or maybe we're not experiencing overwhelming distress. Somehow, maybe our life does not involve much happiness and fulfillment either. This is what languishing means. This state that can leave us neutral or flat when we have few strong emotions, and instead of feeling sadness or joy or anger or enthusiasm, we just remain flat. So anyone could be classified like this. This means that we may are at risk of developing mental health problems due to a lack of strategies to be able to increase our well-being or seek and access support from others. So, what are the current challenges, at least here in Europe, what happens? According to the latest Organization for Economic Cooperation Development program for the National Student Assessment, results of this reports indicate that students' sense of belonging at school is declining, and cyberbullying also is widespread. We all know how the COVID pandemic has made the problem of mental health disorders even more important, even more alarming, because many students suffering from anxiety, from depression, from post-traumatic stress, from obsessive compulsive disorders, and many other disorders that were exacerbated during the COVID pandemic, and not only for children but also for adults. What other important thing the school book that I mentioned has detrimental consequences on learners' health and academic achievement. It's something that increases the risk of early school leaving. Around 20% of school children experience mental health problems. And we should also mention the case of the war between Russia and Ukraine, because we have cases of Ukrainian refugee children in schools across the European Union, which also it's a big challenge. So obviously, schools and teachers are not sufficiently prepared to deal with these issues and needed to be supported. And remember that the well-being of teachers and students are always closely connected. Teachers need to experience a state of well-being themselves in order to be able to contribute to ensuring the well-being and mental health of their students. So why it is so important to address these issues? Schools are the key to the promotion of mental health and well-being among young people. Why? Because children and young people spend a considerable amount of time at school during the critical period for the development of their personality and socio-emotional competencies. And research indicates that incorporating socio-emotional learning, for example, mental health and well-being and bullying prevention programs in schools is one of the most effective ways to support the psychological well-being of children and young people, including those who experience disadvantage or disabilities or marginalization. So this is in line, we could say, with a more holistic vision of education, which recognizes children and adolescents as those who are in need of a balanced set of cognitive, social, and emotional competencies to achieve positive outcomes in school and in life. So such an approach recognizes the social, emotional, and psychological needs of young people and includes well-being as a key learning goal. And you know that the link between academic and socio-emotional learning is something that is highlighted by empirical evidence, including neuroscientific research. I'm a neuroeducation researcher. Maybe at the end I will talk a little bit about this. Why? Because learning is closely related with emotion. Learning is a relational and emotional process. So addressing learners' well-being is the key to raising educational outcomes. It's important to promote better educational outcomes for all and well-being at school. School education can play a crucial role in promoting inclusive, fairer, and more prosperous societies and economies. It helps children and young people to develop knowledge, skills, and attitudes necessary to become responsible, resilient, and engaged individuals and to have a fulfilling life. These goals can only be achieved if education systems are truly equitable and inclusive. They must ensure that all learners have a chance to fulfill their potential, irrespective of personal circumstances or family, cultural, and socioeconomic backgrounds. However, today, not all young people in Europe have equal opportunities to benefit from education. And why more mental health support is important? We said that there is a lack of strategies for mental health, which has been exacerbated because of the COVID pandemic, time away from school, lockdown, social distancing, and all these factors are the leading cause of why mental illnesses are on the rise. COVID pandemic took a heavy toll on children's mental health due to the lack of social engagement, the local and social contact. Children missed school, recreational activities. They struggle with remote learning and lack of learning supports. And the research also reports that many mental health disorders, as I mentioned before, post-traumatic stress and anxiety. Um, Many it's interesting to see that usually um, more than half of the people with mental illness don't receive help. Is something that we needed to highlight. Many of these young people with mental health issues do not receive help, and mental health problems increase the possibility of mental illness in adolescence and then adulthood. Another important issue is that people often avoid or delay seeking treatment because of concerns about being discriminated. So the reason behind this is the fear of stigma, of discrimination, and the fear also of losing their jobs. So people with mental health problems are usually stigmatized and marginalized in various ways. And stigma often comes from fear or from lack of understanding of media also play an important role because inaccurate or misleading media representation of mental illness contribute to these facts. Um, so we can understand that children, for instance, students have this fear of bullying if they seek for help. And also, we should mention that stigma affects individuals with mental illness, but also their family members. So, um, in order to reduce mental health issues, we must support the promotion of strategies for mental health and well-being, moving children and young people away from languishing, as I said before, and towards flourishing. The earlier this is done, the better for prevention and improved prospects for the future generations of children and young people. The best place to do this is at schools, as most children spend their time at school, and schools can act not only as a protective factor to prevent the onset of mental health problems, they can also become a well-being intervention by embedding a whole school approach to mental health and well-being. So, how to improve mental health and well-being in schools? There are a number of things that schools can do to support this. First, they can provide information, resources on how we can cope with stress, with anxiety. We can effectively teach well-being strategies and create safe and supportive environments where students will feel comfortable and they will have the chance to discuss the mental health disorders and how to support well-being. Schools can promote positive thinking, resilience by teaching strategies for positive mental health and well-being, and this includes the ability to ask for help as well as accept the support from others. And this is combined with many personal resources that include using helpful thinking, having a positive outlook, being resilient during challenging times, emotional awareness, and having self confidence. Interesting. Also, we can say there's campaigns like Children's Mental Health Week, Mental Health Awareness Day, are some initiatives that have actually helped to reduce the negative stigma that once um, stigmatized mental illness. So, thankfully, more children, young people, and adults are now finding the help that they need. Um, so there's an increased focus on raising the awareness of mental health and making it more acceptable for individuals to seek help and gain access to support earlier. Um, and there is, of course, much more that we need to do in order to help with all these children be a part. This discussion should be a part of day-to-day conversations. Um, According to a survey in 2021, it was found that 90% of children and young people thought that mental health and well-being should be taught in schools. And by supporting students to better understand their own mental health and how to take care of it and how to talk about it, schools and colleges can encourage more open discussions and can help break down stigma. And so schools can do this in different ways by having, for instance, a senior mental health leader or an expert in psychologist who have a strategic oversight of a school which promotes positive mental health and well-being through structured lessons, promoting key events uh, like those I mentioned before, Children's Mental Health Week, Mental Health Awareness Week. Um, we could run also well-being week for students and staff. Provide always continuous professional development opportunities for staff mental health and well-being. Include health and well-being as a standing agenda in our meetings, and engage, of course, with parents and carriers, giving students regular opportunities through tutor time or small groups to talk about mental health and regularly celebrate learning. Um, and highlight the fact that learning and is not academic performance. Well-being is actually a culture. I mean, we need to cultivate a culture of well-being in schools in order to remove the traditional perception of academic performance and grades. Very important step is also we talked about a whole school approach that we need. So take a coordinated and evidence-informed approach to mental health in schools that can help us to lead um, can help us improve actually learning. Schools are the best places to spot the early signs of poor mental health and emotional well-being. And this way, we can start from a positive education. Positive education is applied positive psychology within educational settings. So, positive education takes proven evidence-based strategies that develop mental health and well-being and encourage children and young people, move children away from languishing and from flatter mindsets. An essential part of flourishing is helping children and young people to develop personal well-being resources that support young children. In this way, positive education includes self-awareness, self-reliance, flexible accurate thinking, ability to focus, positive view, always optimistic outlook, decision making, emotional literacy, communication, ability to be resilient during challenging situations, and development of positive coping strategies. It is clear that developing good strategies for well-being not only helps support the children and people who are not feeling well, but it can help prevent mental health problems. The prevention, I think, it's more important. Um, so, what is happening in Europe? We can mention the case of Search Pathways Framework. Apart from this, there is another one which is called the Pathways to School Success. It's an initiative that aims to promote better educational outcomes for all learners and the well-being of learners educators at schools. This it's a new project which will start in 2023, and it's an expert group that will develop proposals and strategies for creating supportive learning environments for groups at risk of underachievement and for supporting well-being at school. So here we have another project which is called Search Pathways Framework. It's a research-based positive education that helps schools to develop interventions on whole school being and also a well-being curriculum. And this is focused on these areas: strengths, emotional management, attention awareness, relationships, coping and resilience, habits and goals. So we would say that this is a wonderful research-based positive education framework that helps students to develop intervention. And this means well-being can be consistently applied within a school, and all children and young people can be supported to move towards flourishing and towards reducing the impact of mental health problems. What happens in Greece, in my country, in general, spending in education is low. But there is help from the European Union, the European Union Recovery Resilience Facility, which provides investments and helps Greek education in terms of reforms and training and skill system. We try to modernize the levels of education, so reforms are key for improving educational outcomes. But, however, we need to adopt comprehensive policies to ensure the well-being of students and teachers, who, of course, have been affected by the pandemic. Reform was introduced in 2020. This reform aimed at improving the attractiveness and labor market relevance of vocational education and training, which is actually a hot issue in Greece. Something other which is important, the Greek Minister of Education, when I'm working, usually places great emphasis on actions which promote quality of school life and personal development in schools. So, our minister introduced a new cognitive discipline which is called Skills Labs. It was introduced 2020 in order to support children's skills development. It has to do mostly with soft skills. It covers primary, lower secondary education, promotes no-violent behavior, mental and emotional health, and mutual respect and diversity, and preventing bullying and cyberbullying. So this is a flagship initiative of the Greek Ministry of Education in collaboration with the Institute of Educational Policy. We see here that health education is included, entrepreneurship, environmental education, STEM, robotics. All these here we can see all these areas are involved, are integrated. So skills labs are organized around four main cycles: better living, well-being, environmental consciousness, interest and action, social consciousness, responsibility, creation, innovation, creative thinking, and initiative. The training material is in line with these learning methods. It includes video sessions, sources and scenarios for the application of good practices. It's accompanied by self-assessment activities. And through this, the aim of this initiative is to create a dynamic learning and practice community. Um, so we have, apart from this, another important issue that I have um, faced in schools. Many times I have worked as a teacher in the privileged areas with students who come from low socioeconomic background, and we have the chance to receive school meals from private institutions who donor us, or from European programs who funded school meals, healthy school meals. So in Greece, you can see a big number here, over 100,000 students. Schools benefit from these meals, and this helps strengthen solidarity and companionship in school community. Meal and breakfast are provided to students in primary and secondary education in low socioeconomic areas. Another issue which is related to well-being and which is alarming in Greece is cybercrime, because Greece is has a second high rate of cyberbullying, especially during lockdown periods. This problem exacerbated. We have a cybercrime service of the Ministry of Civil Protection, who created an information platform for young people. During lockdown, parents associations and school principals organized information days and internet behavior. We have also here in Greece a school violence and bullying prevention observatory. We have launched also Pan-Hellenic School Day Against Violence at School, which is 6 March. And the Greek Ministry where I'm working, I organize a workshop about cyber security, and we invite students and schools twice a week who come in installations of the ministry, and we try to raise them awareness about all these dangers and challenges of the use of the internet and excessive use of the internet. And it's important to see what happens in Europe. European Healthy School launches. The European Union, there is a group of experts who would actually we try to enable governments to share health economic analysis, policy ideas, best practices, and develop common approaches. They work on initiatives such as improving food products recipes. They try to reduce children's exposure to marketing of foods high in fat and sugars. They try to encourage physical activity, facilitate the sharing of evidence of data, best practices, identify research gaps, and support health in all policies, and work on reducing health inequalities. We can see that these healthy recipes from all European Union member states, it was a great initiative, and it's something that inspires students, parents, and chefs, and all those who were involved in school food policies. Because they showed how school meals, how eating at school can be tasty, fun, and healthy. Another project, European Union, that has launched, it's called the School Food for Change. It's a project that builds on this potential. The reason is that they consider school meals as catalyst for systemic change. The project provides innovative solutions, solutions that are tailored according to practices of schools, for school meal providers, for public authorities, policy makers. And the aim is always to empower students towards a more healthy lifestyles, to give the priority on diet-related conditions, and uh, highlight the importance of change, how this is important, and how we should be able to drive change. Um, to achieve this ambitious goal, this project follows a holistic, we could say, multi-level approach based on sustainable food procurement, nutrition specialists, scientists, and this involves the development of innovative and sustainable food procurement and promotion of planetary healthy diets and cooking. Um, Apart from this, we have the WISE project. Um, Again, in Europe, it's very recent, 2022. It promotes and encourages well-being in student life within the European higher education field. And this project targets to identify what is important for the well-being of students, how universities can uh, act. And this will try to develop expertise to understand better what's at stake for student well-being, develop resources and training to help student organizations to take into account all these factors and develop proposals, communications to promote student well-being. Why? Because student life, as I said before, is an essential dimension in uh, in every schools and of course in the European Union policy strategies, and is recognized as complementary to academic learning. And the COVID crisis has shown us how important is the social, cultural, and civic part of student life for the well-being of students. So, what are the main recommendations that are made in Europe about this topic? Mental health promotion as a mandatory key learning goal in 21st century. In line with the policies currently being developed by the European Union, for the achievement of what we call here a European education area. It's a new project by 2020, which should be implemented by 2025. A supported communication should secure mental health and well-being as a major education objective across member states, integrated into the curriculum and supported by a whole school approach. And of course, its initiative should resonate with the rights of children and young people to physical and mental health, quality education, promote protection, participation. Mainstreaming mental health and well-being to formal curriculum and pedagogy. A strategic approach is needed in order to encourage schools to broaden their agenda to include mental health and well-being as a key learning objective. Emphasize the links between academic learning, curriculum design, and pedagogy. So we need teaching practices that can actually foster connectedness and a sense of belonging. We need a constructivist, collaborative pedagogy involving active student engagement, emotional competencies, all these building blocks for both academic learning and social emotional learning and well-being. Adapting the metrics of school success, it's an important way to encourage schools to prioritize mental health, provide a more balanced and meaningful education, is to increase the currency of well-being education. That means that education system needs to support this change by expanding the metrics they use to evaluate school performance. This is what I said before. That evaluation needs to be formative, inclusive, systemic, and must avoid labeling, ranking, comparisons. We should not focus only on academic performance and grade, but we should also focus on social emotional well-being. Adopt a systemic whole school approach, as I said before. Um, and this means that we need the involvement of all key stakeholders that will mobilize the various resources of the whole school community, parents, professionals, local community, private or public institutions. Relatedness, connectedness at the heart of mental health promotion. A sense of belonging and connectedness, which is reinforced by respect from caring and supportive relationships among between various school members, creates healthy spaces in which individuals can grow and thrive. And this can help to prevent unhealthy practices at the school that might compromise well-being of school members, such as bullying, as I said before. In any case, we need a more bottom-up participatory approach, including representative student voice. So a bottom-up approach helps to ensure that any initiative is culturally appropriate and addresses the diverse needs of the school population. It will also be an investment in developing interventions that are feasible and relevant to the local context. Teachers, parents, and students must be actively involved in the planning and implementation of programs and initiatives. That means that all these stakeholders can and should co-design materials, participate in the delivery implementation of intervention, participate in decision making, contribute to peer interventions. Develop a mental health curriculum for school and for children across Europe. Framework is very, very important. And I could say that not only for Europe, but we need a global framework. It's possible on a global level. And this global framework, of course, should include social emotional education, resilience, building, mental health literacy. All these are adapted to the context and needs of every school. A school-based sectoral support, because mental health is a multi-layered phenomenon, schools need to work with other sectors and before agencies to provide targeted intervention for students who are at risk. That means we can collaborate with health services or mental health agencies, social services, and other related services and agencies. Strategic focus on mental health needs of vulnerable and marginalized students. This is also important. Students exposed to risk of marginalization are at greater risk of developing mental health problems. And these usually are students who are coming from low socioeconomic status or migrant backgrounds, children who are exposed to abuse, violence, or bullying, those who have experienced other forms of trauma. And students also who are high achieving, who are in competitive schools, may also be at risk of mental health difficulties due to this pressure and high expectations and fear of failure. Involve the whole school community, as said before, prioritize the education of teachers in mental health and well-being. Teachers are the primary delivery agents of mental health interventions by providing support to students. So, adequate teacher education, mental health promotion at both initial and continued professional development levels, something which is crucial for the success of mental health promotion in schools. That means we need mentoring programs, we need professional networks, learning communities, collaboration, or platforms could provide the help and the training that teachers need. We need to address mental health and well-being of adults working with children on health and well-being, because the mental health of adults, parents, has a direct impact for on the mental health of students. Teachers need active support from local authorities, the school administration, for the colleagues to deal effectively with the challenges and stresses of their own profession. So first we need to be well with ourselves, and then we can help students consequently. Strengthening evidence and evidence-based practices is very, very important when we talk about mental health. We need to emphasize on more rigorous research in order to provide stronger evidence on the effective promotion of mental health. And this means that evaluations could include local interventions, national interventions, the national interventions. Before concluding, I want to say that cognitive neurosciences could offer great support in the pursuit of creating a school with healthy, well balanced, and efficient learners by offering insight into brain functions. Cognitive neurosciences can give us solutions that can apply to teaching methods, nutrition, organizing the school schedule in accordance with the human biorhythm in a way that promotes mental health and learning. And especially nowadays that humanity has faced healthy and other kind of health, other kinds of crises, and our mental and physical health of learners are being challenged. With the knowledge of neuroeducation, we can overcome these challenges and we can restore the balance in order for schools to operate in an optimal way. According to neurobiology, the fear and threat response are complex phenomena. The brain regions involved in threat response and fear are not organized into a single fear circuit, but by several circuits in parallel. And in general, children are more vulnerable to fear. So, during the COVID pandemic, I wrote an article which had impact worldwide. It's actually a guide that helps educators to handle with the challenge of the COVID pandemic. It's called Teaching the Coronavirus AIDS Neuroscientific Approach. And there are some suggestions, brain-based techniques and strategies, um, which include to create positive emotion. I said before how it is important, how learning is closely related with emotions. How to make learning pleasant also. We need to design challenging activities, develop social skills, um, um, and why? Because our brain is social, our brain evolves through interaction, and we need to create communities and support systems. The lower the stress is the better the learning process is. Um, so, our capacity of decision making, critical thinking is um, um, partially disabled by fear and stress. For this reason, it's important to create these communities and enable social caring measures prior to teaching sessions. When students are isolated, they face psychological challenges that need to be addressed. So we need to take action to counteract powerlessness. Action is the best remedy for teachers and students since fear causes feeling of powerlessness, which in turn causes inactivity and passivity. So by encouraging students to take action, teachers train their brain to repeatedly release dopamine and enhancing their energy levels. We need to help them establish a new routine because children need structure in their daily lives. A well-organized schedule in online classes, for instance, during the COVID pandemic, it's important that children will keep making progress. Um, and we need to encourage students to express their feelings, promote self-awareness, create safe environment. Our brain needs security. Plan our sessions carefully. Planning should depend on the situation, student needs, and adopt appropriate methodology, which should be based on the recent findings of neuroeducation. Give our students feedback and be brain changer because teachers are brain changers, and great teachers are those who can structure human brain under any circumstances. So, I would say that efficient learning is not possible without health and well-being. Schools should support the students to develop social and emotional skills and talents that contribute to long-term mental health and well-being, to the ability to solve problems and cope with everyday challenges, maintain healthy relationships, and cooperate with others, feel autonomous and creative. Brain health and functions cannot be ignored when we plan education programs and when we set up education system in general. Educational neuroscientists are discovering a lot about the idea of learning by working directly in schools. When children realize how their brains change as they learn, the learning things, their perspective on school learning could shift drastically. So, through understanding how students' brain actually work and applying this information to boost the classroom learning, we may be able to improve classroom teaching and better prepare children to face the complexities of the uncertain future. So, thank you very much for your attention, and I'm here for further questions to discuss.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seekers surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which was your only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seekers. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, dear, for your presentation. Ma'am, now it's time for our question answer session, which is the one more
Thank
valuable
you.
part of our regular webinars. Honorable ma'am, please stay with us. After a short video, we will back within in our session part 2, which is question answer part.
Mhm.
Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you can. You want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have webinar certification on online quiz session. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer session, we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. Ma'am, our first question is from Jordan. Good day, ma'am. What is the importance of health and well-being for children?
Mhm. Mental health promotion is about creating environments that promote and sustain positive mental health. And these activities are designed actually to enhance protective factors and minimize risk factors. Schools are an ideal setting in which we can promote mental health for children and youth, providing an opportunity to reach larger groups of children during their um, crucial formative years of cognitive, emotional, behavioral development. And as I mentioned before, it's very important nowadays because, first of all, we are in post-COVID era, post-COVID period. I mentioned before how, according to research, the research data, children are suffering from serious mental health disorders, stress, anxiety, post-traumatic stress. But it's not only this, it's also, for I mentioned the case here in Greece, we have alarming phenomenon of cyberbullying. We have many cases of also of cybercrime and of violence, gender-based violence also. There are so many problems that young people are facing nowadays that I strongly believe that the main challenge that we have as educators is not how to teach our subject knowledge. This is not our challenge, or how to use an online platform or how to use a computer or a device. This is not our challenge. Our challenge now is to become psychologues because right now educators have assigned new roles. We are at the same time educators, we're at the same time psychologues, mentors, facilitators, guides, and all we are living in such a complex world with so complex problems that we need to be there for our students and we need to help them increase their mental well-being, to enhance regulation of emotions, to enhance coping and problem solving skills, to increase engagement, achievement, and attendance, to enhance empathy and respect for diversity. For instance, here in Greece, we have many students of refugees and migrant refugees who are suffering from serious mental health disorders because of bullying that they receive from other children. And of course, try to decrease all this aggression and bullying and violence within schools. Um, so, we, what we're trying to do through this mental health promotion in schools is that we enhance the ability of students to enjoy life, to enjoy the student life, and to deal with the challenges that they face. Because things are more and more difficult than they were when I was, for instance, school and when I was a student. Uh, so this is.
Much, ma'am, for your answer. Ma'am, our next question is from good evening, ma'am. Is mental health can be seen as a positive form of behavior? Can it promote it in positive way?
Because I talked before about a whole school approach to mental health promotion. That means social and physical environment. Um, and this includes how to allow and encourage students to participate in decision making, how to foster an atmosphere of trust, of tolerance, of cooperation, and empathy, how to increase student achievement and unity. Um, there is also the case of healthy school policy. So, healthy school policy can help provide alternatives to zero tolerance policies that allow for continued school connectedness and restoration. Have always policies that contribute to the physical and emotional safety of our students, to try to accommodate the learning and social needs of all students, including those with disabilities, and interact with parents also, because I said before, we talk about intersectoral policies, and we need a whole school approach. That means we need to engage all key stakeholders, local community, health services, mental health agencies, private, public institutions. So yes, it's something that's positive, and it is related to resilience, actually. Supporting and enhancing resilience is a core component of fostering positive mental health. And resilience is this ability, to bounce back after obstacles, after hardship, after stress. So helping children to learn how to manage the inevitable ups and downs in life and how to build their coping skills. It's something that should be done at an early age. So this way they can have positive feelings about themselves, trust others, and generally feel optimistic about their future. So school-based programs should focus on social skills, on emotional literacy, mental health literacy, as I said before, and positive education.
Thank you, ma'am, for your answer. Now, our next question is from Ishaya. What are the main causes of mental illness?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a huge chapter I need to analyze. Usually, there are some risk factors. For instance, if children come from divorced parents, this is very common. Or children who are involved, who are doing substance abuse, or that it's also the case of transition, where children who are going to school and they don't know how to be adapted to this. It's a case also of hereditary causes. Also, if parents also have this, suffer from mental health disorders, children could have also this. Um, So mental illness would say it's a very complex, multi-layered phenomenon. And to remember that mental illness is um, it's not a weakness. I mean that all of us, more or less, we have faced a mental health problem. That could be a panic before a test. That could be an overwhelming stress, an overwhelming anxiety. Uh, mental illness is not a sign of weakness. So we need to embrace this, and we need to spot the signs of mental illness at an early age, as I said. So there are many, many causes. That would be not only one, but it could be the combination of many mental illnesses at the same time. Psychological factors are also important, and difficulties, learning difficulties at school, decreased academic performance, low usually the students who are coming from low socioeconomic background, students that I mentioned before that belong to certain groups, such as refugee immigrant groups, or students with specific and sexual preferences. All of these students that are exposed to bullying usually suffer from mental health disorders.
Thank you, ma'am, for your answer. Our next question is from Jonda Alvarez. How would you differentiate the mental health and well-being of a class done in virtual from face-to-face form?
Mm. Is what I mentioned before on the article that I wrote in the magazine, where I suggest these brain-based strategies. It was for online learning. I suggested, we know that online learning, virtual learning is considered as boring and not interesting by children and students. It's difficult to attract their attention for more than 10 minutes. So it's important to create positive emotions there, to design activities that could increase their attention, to improve their memorization, to destabilize their senses, as we say. That means to introduce something new, to introduce something original. That could be a humoristic approach, a joke, for instance, or anything that could attract their attention. And humor is something very important for well-being in the class and the whole environment, positive environment. So create a positive environment, encourage students to share their personal experiences. This is also important. For instance, when we talk about during social distancing, during the COVID pandemic, it's important to encourage students to share their experience about this crisis. If they have any relative, or if they have experience of a death of any beloved person around them. So introduce positive emotions, create positive suggestions, environment, make learning pleasant by designing challenging activities. We talk about social distancing, but still we can do collaborative projects because we have many collaborative platforms. We have blogs, we have wikis, we have bulletin boards, and still we can help students to interact, can encourage them to interact and collaborate with each other, help to develop self-awareness, integration of arts. During the COVID pandemic, there were many competitions on the topic of the art. It's not accidental because art is something that is liberating. It's cathartic for the soul. So I think that maybe all of us have experimented with art when we are depressed. Art could be music, that could be poetry, that could be painting, anything. And uh, what I said before is adopt always the appropriate methodology. Appropriate methodology is what fit best to your students. But always remember that virtual form is always more boring. So it needs more, it needs a special design from teachers. It needs a special planification. Focus more on positive emotions, on learning, on experiences, and less on lecture and less on knowledge. This is my opinion. This is what neuroeducation tells us. And these are all these strategies that I mentioned are called brain-based strategies, brain-based techniques.
Thank you, ma'am, for your answer. Our next question is from Santiago. Is there an standard open door policy for parents to be included in discuss about their children learners, especially when concerned, and up to what particular point in the involvement of parents with regards to these policies?
Mhm. Look, this depends on the country. Here in Greece, for instance, parents are very reserved, and there are many times that they deny that their child have a problem. So it's important. It's very negative because they can help their children to become better. If you are in denial and you refuse to accept the problem of your child, it's impossible to receive help and therapy. So it depends on the country and it depends on the policy of its government. Um, Usually, what we're doing here is to call in some day-to-day. We arrange some pedagogical sessions with parents, day-to-day conversations in private, and we have some psychologists who are integrated in the school. We have some school mentors, and we recommend some experts if the problem is serious. So it's always this depends, this policy. There's no standard policy. It depends on the school, on parents, and on the problem. Yeah, I see a comment here. It's Isaiah who says that in Kenya, parents deny that their children have problems. Yes, I think that in all countries maybe this exists. Yes, yes, it's true. But this is negative because they can't receive help.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, our next question is from Isha. How is low social economic status related to mental health problems?
Yes, because when the parents have a fear of losing their job, when parents cannot support the necessary school supplies for their children, and children are jealous of other rich children, when these students receive bullying, because there are many poor students who receive bullying because they don't have the necessary the strong financial background. Usually, these students are involved with drugs, with alcohol, because they're coming from parents who are divorced or parents who are one only parent. And this, if you notice all the reports and research, you will see that always these students are coming from low socioeconomic backgrounds, unfortunately. And here in Greece, we have many refugees, I said before, migrants who are coming from these low socioeconomic backgrounds, and they are suffering from serious mental health disorders because they don't have equal treatment. They don't receive equal treatment, not in school, from teachers, from anyone in the society. So they bring their social problems in school, and this causes mental health problems. And also, these children who do not have the necessary economic financial help in order to improve their academic performance, this will automatically lead to deception and mental illness if you don't have the necessary help for learning. So I think that if you, it's interesting
Thank you, ma'am.
to read the researches about this, how this are related. It's interesting.
Thank you, ma'am, for your answer. Our next question is from Nicomedes. Good evening, ma'am. What are some of your practical tips in promoting the well-being of students and teachers?
Mhm. Look, I'm a STEM educator. STEM education is something which is related to how to make science, for instance, fun and engaging and challenging. So what I'm trying to do, for instance, when I teach science in primary education, I adopt a role playing, storytelling. Storytelling is very important. It's cathartic also, especially for children in primary school age. Um, Help always foster social skills. That means that we suggest always collaborative and project collaborative teamwork. This is very important. Focus always on emotional, as I said before, and try always to create a positive environment. I think these are the most important tips: collaboration, teamwork, a positive emotion, um, the introduction of arts that I mentioned before, um, and some techniques like simulation, role playing, storytelling, field trips, or outdoor activities also that could be interesting. And outdoor activities are interesting and important. It's what we call crossover learning because children, for instance, if you teach about environment, it's interesting to take your students and go out in the nature. And in this way, they adopt at the same time healthy lifestyles because they learn how to love environment, how to protect environment. So there are many techniques that we can use. Visual techniques also. If we adopt, if we know this theory about multiple intelligence theory of Hart Gardner's, this way you can design a lesson plan which includes activities suitable for kinesthetic types, for visual types, for auditive styles, because we need to respect learning preferences, learning styles of each student, respect their needs. All these are factors that actually promote the well-being of students and teachers. Of course, we talk about students who do not have problems of health school meals, for instance, because I told you that I had an issue. I had worked with the privileged children, and in the school that I was working, we received school meals from donors because my students were coming from a very, very low socioeconomic background. So healthy diet, physical education, also promote in school, and in general cultivate a culture of well-being, not to focus only on academic performance. This should not be the role of school because this exacerbates the stress. This increases stress, not decreases stress. Social emotional learning should go along with academic learning. This is my opinion.
Thank you, ma'am, for your answer. Ma'am, our next question is from Carol. Why is it that there are some intents where a strong personality full of positive sometimes fail to handle difficult situations?
Because we were humans, we are not gods. Um, we are all face problems that many times are more or less serious, and this means that handle a problem is a lifelong process. That means that we learn from our mistakes, and we learn how to evolve through our mistakes and through our efforts. If these problems are more serious, of course, we need, if it's something that we can't handle of our own for a long time, we need advice of an expert, a counselor. This is certain. When it comes to mental health, I don't recommend over medicalization. I don't prioritize pharmaceutical methods. I prefer always, because I'm a youth mentor, I'm giving some training sessions about mental health to students. So I always prioritize um, no pharmaceutical methods. And it's what I said before that we all more or less have
Hmm.
faced problems that we are not able to face. This is a challenge for us because this can help us discover more about our character, our mentality, our weaknesses, our strengths, and this can make us better because every obstacle and every difficulty always makes us stronger.
Thank you, ma'am, for your answer. Our next question is from Janalian. How can we assess students who do have mental illness? What are the best way to help them in that kind of situation?
Yes, this is very difficult for a teacher. I mean, okay, we have some students who disturb, and we may know their family background, the difficult family background. So I think that the first start is to arrange pedagogical session with the parents and search a little bit about the background and if this continues and uh, this is not easy to handle, then we should ask the help of a counselor or psychologist if there is a psychologist in the school. In any case, we need to be uh, less strict in our assessment. We need to have empathy. We need to have understanding and to be open and straightforward with the students, to discuss with them, of course, always in private, and try to help them and to make them sure that we're close to them, um, that we're ready to help them and collaborate always with their parents. In the school I worked, some school when I was appointed in the public some years before, I have many cases of students because it was an island there when I was working, where the majority of parents were divorced. So I had very difficult students who were uh, were very aggressive. They had knives. They were very violent. We had many violent cases in this island where I was working. Parents had actually abandoned them because they were not coming, not even to check their grades, their reports. So it was very difficult for me. It was a great challenge. And assessment can be done, of course, the same way as we assess the other children. They need a special treatment, of course, a special treatment.
Once again, thank you so much, Honorable Ma'am, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topic. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable Ma'am, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new day. Thank you, ma'am. Take care.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Honorable Ma'am, before we move to the next webinar certification process, if you want you to leave with you, you can.
Mhm. Okay.
IGP Knowledge Seekers, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. IGP Knowledge Seekers, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Dear participant, today our webinar topic is Health and Well-being in Schools, and the code is IGP 7390, and the code is IGP 7390. Without code, no one is eligible for certificate. With code, you can claim your certificate anytime. Now I am going to tell you how can you claim your certificate. First, you have to go www.eduigp.com. Click on sign in or login. If you have already an account, you can go through login. But if you are new, you have to sign in first. Create. Then once login, then you have to click on free webinar. Select webinar title and click continue course. If you are already enrolled in there, you can continue. But if you are new, first you have to complete your enrollation session. Type the code in certificate code box, then click certificates. It is auto downloaded into PDF already. Just click on your file manager or download folder. Dear IGP seekers, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now it's time for online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. First, go to www.slido.com and find today quiz or scan this QR code for direct joining. And the code is IGP3. Please join in Slido with code, and the code is IGP3. Please join in Slido with code, and the code is IGP3. Please join in Slido with the code, and the code is IGP3. Please join Slido with the code, and the code is IGP3. After a short video, we will start our quiz competition. Dear participant, to join our quiz session, you have to go www.slido.com and the code is IGP3. And the code is IGP3. We will pick your name from Slido. So join with your full name, which will directly print on certificates. Top 10 will be awarded with quiz completion certificate. Already 48 people joined with us. We will start our quiz session after 2 minutes. Dear participant, to join our quiz session, you have to go www.slido.com and the code is IGP3 and the code is IGP3. We will pick your name from Slido, so join with your full name, which is directly print on certificates. Top 10 will be awarded with quiz completion certificate. And please don't forget to mention your friend to join our quiz session. To join our quiz session, you have to go www.slido.com and the code is IGP3 and the code is IGP3. We will pick your name from Slido, so join with your full name, which will directly print on certificate. Top 10 will be awarded with quiz completion certificates. To join our quiz session, you have to go www.slido.com and the code is IGP3 and the code is IGP3. Dear participant, let's start our quiz session with 53 people. Our first question is, in your lifetime, you can expect your health to, option 1, not be very important, option 2, change over time. Option 1, not to be very important, option 2, change over time. Option 2, change over time is the right answer and 98% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Jordan Joy is holding the first position. Our second question is, works to improve the health, safety and well-being of Americans. Option 1, health and human services. Option 2, education. Works to improve the health, safety and well-being of Americans. Option 1, health and human services. Option 2, education. Option 1, health and human services is the right answer and 73% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Jordan is holding the first position. Our third question is, which schools offers a program in theaters arts? Option 1, Carter Riverside. Option 2, Allenton Heights and I am Thriller. Option 2, Arlington Heights and I am Trail is the right answer and 71% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Jordan is holding the first position. Our fourth question is, the ways in which health issues can be addressed include option 1, education, option 2, non-education. The way in which health issues can be addressed include option 1, education, option 2, non-education. Option 1, education is the right answer and 94% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Jordan is holding the first position. After completing our fourth question, our fifth question is residential school started in the 19th. Option 1, true. Option 2, false. Residential school start in the 19th. Option 1, true. Option 2, false. Option 1, true is the right answer. 74% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Jordan Drew is holding the first position. Our sixth question is teacher in schools of nursing, staff development, department in health, care facilities, or clients education departments. Option 1, certified midwife. Option 2, nurse educator. Option 1, certified midwife. Option 2, nurse educator. Option 2, nurse educator is the right answer and 96% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Leah is holding the first position after completing our sixth question. Our seventh question is helps young people in schools with emotional or learning problems. Option 1, school psychologist. Option 2, learning psychologist. Option 1, school psychologist. Option 2, learning psychologist. Option 1, school psychologist, right answer, and 92% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Leah is holding the first position. Our eighth question is would a death in the family likely have an impact or more than one dimension of health? Option 1, yes, it might affect all areas. Option 2, no. Option 1, yes, it might affect all areas. Option 2, no. Option 1, yes, it might affect all areas is the right answer and 98% people are right here. The leaderboard, Leah is holding the first position. Her second last question is 1 in 12 children experience mental health difficulties. Option 1, true. Option 2, false. 1 in 12 children experience mental health difficulties. Option 1, true. Option 2, false. Option 2, false is the right answer and 16% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Shafal is holding the first position after completing our ninth question, our last and final question of this session, which is not in the social side of the health triangle. Option 1, feel like people accept you. Option 2, can say no to harmful things or situations. Option 1, feel like people accept you. Option 2, can say no to harmful things or situations. Option 1, feel like people accept you is the right answer and 33% people are right here. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. Slido will take a few minutes for finalizing the result and after that we will issue our online quiz competition certificate to our official Facebook page and group, Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. Slido will take a few minutes for finalizing the result and after that we will issue our online quiz competition certificates on our official Facebook page and group, Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winner top 10. Congratulations again. Slido will take a few minutes to finalizing the result and after that We will issue our online quiz competition certificate to our official Facebook page and group, Institute of Global Professionals. At the end moment on our session, we can say properly feed your skill, never stop learning, cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Albert Einstein, before I say or hit the end like button again, once again, thanks to all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participation. As always, see you again in the next session. Thank you.